What's the schedule look like for Doug Bulls on race day?
So you wake up Saturday morning, and you don't go to sleep till Sunday night.
Oh boy.
You can't, right? And so you start Saturday. We got all our pre-race. Allison and the team are going through. We actually do an entire pre-race show with NBC and all the celebrities, exactly like it's going to be on race day, to make sure that it works. So we walk it through. The drivers get introed, but they're not drivers. They're fans who get to walk up on stage and act like they're the drivers. And we go.
How do I get that gig?
It's a cool gig, but
they love it. They love it.
You need someone to like practice waving the green flag on Saturday.
So we go through this. We go through everything. It's really important, and that's one of the things that Allison brought to the team is this is important enough. We should know that it's right, and then we share some of the elements with our TV broadcaster that they're going to broadcast something while it's simultaneous in venue, and other times we're doing something in venue and they're doing something different. So we're trying to make sure we're not stepping on each other. So it's a really important process. We do the parade that day. We come back that night, make sure everything's set up for the snake pit. You just kind of make sure that we're ready to go. And then by 11:30 or 12 o'clock, I usually take off my tie, put on a T-shirt, and I go spend the evening walking through the campgrounds and watching crazy people. People that are there for the event, right? And
who are passionate.
Who are super passionate.
These are super passionate fans. I love them all.
And there's a group of folks that sing Back Home Again in Indiana at 12 o'clock when it becomes race day. So I try and go there and watch them sing. I don't sing with them, but I try and watch them sing. And then the town of Speedway, without the town of Speedway, that we couldn't park everybody. So many of the neighbors there, you park in people's driveways. And it's the same people year after year that go back to the same location. So you can walk through the town, and then people have their garage doors open. They're just partying, and you walk in, and it's actually really fun. You walk in, somebody goes, "You Doug Bulls? You don't have a tie on. What are you doing here?" And you just seeing fans is part of the fun. The next morning, we all by 4:30 or 5 o'clock, we're all focused on the gates are going to open 6. We're going to shoot the cannon off. Mark Miles loves to go do the cannon, so Mark goes and shoots the cannon to kind of let everybody know it's time to come in. And then it's game on. You're trying to do everything that Allison and her team have prepared for us in terms of pre-race beginning at 6 o'clock. And you're solving problems, really, is what you're doing. And then that's whether it's gates or traffic, and you're waiting you just run around and do that. I have a list of customers that I try and go see. So somebody that's been 75 Indy 500s, I'm going to go find Butch, who has been here for 75 races, and congratulate him. And then you just
I think that's special. I'm going to pause on that real quick. Like when you first said, "Oh, I have a list of customers," I'm thinking, okay, the biggest sponsor, Firestone. Like Martha is there, hanging out or whatever. But no, like you're going to someone who maybe has bought a GA ticket or a pavilion or a grandstand ticket for 75 years. Like that's awesome.
So the last place you will find Allison or you will find Doug is in a suite. We are out taking care of customers or taking care of our staff. It is absolutely what we do. And I do have that list, and I'll walk around, and it's crazy. You walk up in the grandstands, you're trying to find somebody you've never met before, and I think people just love the fact that we care enough that we're spending our time thanking people for coming, and that's kind of what I do. The one cool thing I get to do, I get to drive the front event car at the start of the race. So there's the pace car, and then in front of that there's 4 event cars, and I get to take 2 laps, and I take usually like the Gamebridge CEO or somebody like that goes with me, and we drive around the pace car and run 125 miles an hour down the backstretch and pull the car in. The bummer about that is I usually miss the start of the race, which I mentioned about Connor. So the nice thing about that is because I'm his stepdad, I don't have to worry about it. I'm doing something else, and then I just make sure when I get there, you got through turn 1, it's all good. Now I'm going back to work. So that's kind of what I do.
That is crazy. How do you pick who gets to do all of the fun things, right? So this past year, Dylan Sprouse was the grand marshal.
Right.
How do you pick who waves the green flag, drives the pace car, rides it all? Like, how does that all work?
So some of it's sponsor related, right? So you've got some commitments to sponsors who are helping you put your event on. And then other of it is when we look at the celebrities that we bring in. And this is one thing where if you're a hardcore Indy 500 fan, you're like, it should be a race car driver or whatever that's doing those things. But our philosophy really is if we can bring somebody in who has a following, who can introduce our sport to somebody else because they want to go see Dylan Sprouse or Brad Pitt. If Brad Pitt showed up, that's a good thing because So a lot of it is how can that person and their platform help us introduce Indiana and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to new people. So we've got a whole group of people that actually help us organize and decide. I'd be the worst person to decide, right? So we have a group of relatively young folks on our staff who say this person's important because here's their platform, here's their reach, and that's how we get to it.
Well, let it be known, it's on my bucket list. So I'm as I'm on this journey of getting more and more followers, and like there'll be a number where it's like one day, the IMS is going to give me a call. Hey, Nate, you just crossed 250,000 followers, and we want to get this involved. Like, you're going to wave the green flag.